Today, we are talking about drama, specifically your mind drama about your career. There are many things going on right now and some confusing information out there, which is why I'm taking some time during this episode to help you clear your mind and get your mid-career GPS on the path you want it to go. And if you feel like you're a little bit of a hot mess right now, it's okay. Just breathe. We all get there at some point, and I got you. In this episode, I will help you manage your mid-career mind drama as we talk about layoffs, job security, compensation, your working arrangement, leveling up your leadership, dealing with your boss, and what to do when you feel as if you aren't keeping up with everyone around you along your career path. Welcome to episode 143 of the Mid-Career GPS podcast. I'm your host, John Neral. I'm here with you each week to help you find a job you love or love the job you have by using my proven four-step formula. I know I've got some new listeners out there, and I want to welcome you to the podcast. For those of you who have been with me from the start, I'm so glad you're here and sticking around each week. I've got another great episode for you today. But before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment and just honor that February is Black History Month. As some of you know, I'm a huge game show fanatic, and it just so happened to pop up in my YouTube feed the other day, Rosa Parks's appearance on a 1980s version of To Tell the Truth. If you've never seen this episode, I just want to offer you to go to YouTube and search for it. But one of the things that is so powerful about this episode, and just really quick, for those of you who aren't familiar with the game, there are three people all claiming to be the same person. In this case, it's Rosa Parks. So it's her and two people pretending to be her. And there's a panel of four celebrities who ask questions of the panelists they'll vote to determine who they believe is the real Rosa Parks. There's some really touching moments there where Kitty Carlisle, who was, really, to tell the truth, aside from the host, she was the celebrity staple, if you will. She admitted she was embarrassed. She didn't know who Rosa Parks was. There's a point where Gordon Jump, who was an actor on such shows as WKRP in Cincinnati, who is really choked up by being in awe of Ms. Parks. And then there's a moment with Nipsey Russell, who was a fantastic entertainer, comedian, actor, and host, who was part of the entertainers that were organized by Harry Belafonte. And he knew Ms. Parks. And there's such a beautifully touching moment that's there. Rosa Parks' story is one that always inspires me and motivates me. It is a quintessential definition of how we show up or how we choose to show up. So, my friends, do yourself a favor. It's about 8 minutes long. Go to YouTube, search for Rosa Parks on To Tell the Truth. I know you will not be disappointed. Now, in addition to that, I have a special announcement for you. As I mentioned at the top of this episode, this is episode 143. I've been doing this podcast for over 2 years now, and while I have no plans of stopping anytime soon, I did feel like it was time to offer something different or something extra for you. Well, I am happy to announce that the Mid-Career GPS Podcast Plus is now available. This is a premium subscribers-only podcast where I will be releasing monthly content to help you further along your mid-career journey. The first episode is already dropped, and the topic is about using 4 F's to help you evaluate your career, your next job, your next event, your boss, and even hiring a coach. The Mid-Career GPS Podcast Plus is available for a low monthly subscription of $3. And in future months, you'll have access to trainings, Q&As, hot topics, and much more. Click the show notes or visit the midcareergpspodcast.buzzsprout.com to sign up today and subscribe and listen to the first episode right now. Thank you for your support. Now, when I read or watch the news every day or check out my LinkedIn feed, it seems like there is a lot of conflicting information that's out there about what is going on in the job market. So let's ground some facts and some statistics here. According to the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics for December, the unemployment rate was 3.5%. 5.7 million people are currently unemployed, and 2.1 million of those currently unemployed are filing insurance claims. Yet when I look on LinkedIn, there are a lot of people starting new jobs or getting promotions. It is one of the things that can seem a little bit confusing in our economy right now and in the job market, where we hear talk about a recession. We certainly know that costs are still up compared to last year or the year before. Specifically, you see it when you go to the pump, you see it when you go to buy groceries at the supermarket. But this is where it can create some mind drama or some conflicting information when you hear one thing in the news and you see something else in your circle. Let's not misunderstand something here, that the LinkedIn algorithm feeds things that you tend to click on. So part of the reason why I am probably seeing a lot more people in my network who are getting jobs or getting promotions is because I tend to celebrate those posts, either with a reaction or a comment. If you're not doing that, or maybe you are seeing people post where they are unemployed or they've gotten laid off or they're in the tech sector and they're worried, those things may come up as well. Now, I know I have had clients who have landed jobs in this market and others who are well on their way to creating their next advancement opportunity. I want to be perfectly clear. There are jobs that are out there and that are out there for you. And this is where the mind drama can come in. Because what if it's about me? What if there's something you're saying to yourself as to why you're not getting an interview or you're not closing and getting a job offer? The mind drama is not exclusive to your employment status, meaning people who are employed have mind drama. Teachers who have tenure have mind drama. People who work in the federal government that have some pretty good job security have mind drama. People who are unemployed have mind drama as well. Now, we know the tech industry is taking a hit. We have seen layoffs at some of the major tech companies. And there was a time when a lot of people thought tech used to be considered a quote unquote safe job. Well, according to an article in Forbes last week entitled, "Why Are Tech Companies Laying Off All These Workers?" they cite pandemic overhiring and a potential recession, along with investor expectations, as some of the reasons why these layoffs are happening. Regardless of the reason, if you're in the tech sector or you are considering a job in tech, it's understandable why you might be concerned and why you might be having a little more mind drama than what you'd like. Here's what I mean by mind drama. It's the mindset, it is the self-talk, it is the internal dialogue that says things like, "I'm going to lose my job," or "they don't find me valuable, therefore they're going to let me go." I have worked in organizations where people love, and I mean love, to get stuck in the drama. They will ruminate or they will perseverate on something they heard or who they talked to. And it's one of those things where I'll always come back to, how is that ruminating serving you? If you are a worrier, raise your hand. I got mine raised. I've worried a lot in my life, and I always work on that, right? But if you're a worrier, it is easy to get caught up in the mind drama because you're like, well, there's something here I can control. The only thing you are 100% control over is your thoughts, your career path, and what you want to do about it. So maybe the mindset shift here is to something like, whatever happens at this company, I'm going to be okay. Or I know that I'm valuable. And because I'm valuable, I'm going to start putting some feelers out there just in case something happens. Or maybe the mindset is, I really like my job and I'd love to stay here. But if something happens and I'm, told that I'm being laid off, I know how to pivot. It's a much different thought that shifts the drama to something completely different. What I want you to ask yourself is here, how do these mindset thoughts quell your mid-career drama? You've got experience. You know that you are here because the totality of your experiences are what makes you valuable to somebody else. They will guide you and you can shift toward them, whatever that new job is, because of all of your experiences. Now, what about your performance review? Few episodes back, I did an episode with you about preparing for your performance review. And one of the things that is often told during a performance review is what is your compensation or your bonus? Some mid-career professionals can have a lot of mind drama around their comp. So what do you do if you aren't happy about your compensation? Well, you might not be. You might be disappointed you didn't get as big of a raise as you would like, or maybe you're not getting that bonus, or the bonus isn't as big, right? So if the compensation is important to you and you're not happy with it, I want to offer, is there something else you can do that can balance things out for you toward a resolution you might be happy about? Now, I've coached people on some really creative things for what they have wanted in their career when their comp didn't go their way. I've also coached people on where their comp's gone their way and they still want some of these things too, which is great because there's no harm in asking. Let's make that a mindset shift, right? There is no harm in asking for something you want. It doesn't mean the company's going to give it to you, but there is no harm in asking. Maybe you want more time. Maybe you want more flexibility. Maybe you want to work more at home than you do in the office. The mind drama creeps in when there's something that has happened to you and you start having this internal dialogue that says, I'm not paid enough. You may not be. Your company may not pay you what you want or what you think you are worth. So what do you want to do about that? Because complaining about it and worrying about it isn't going to bring any extra money into your pocket or your bank account. If the mind drama around your compensation is they don't value me, how true is that? Do they value you and they just can't pay you more? Or is there something that's happened in your work life where this company doesn't really value you? Maybe your mind drama is, I have the same title as Sheila, and Sheila makes more money than me. That's not right. My apologies to anybody named Sheila out there. It was just the first name that came to mind. When you start comparing yourself to other people, or maybe the mind drama is, when am I going to be paid more? Here's the shift I want to offer to help you get out of that quagmire in the mind drama. So here's the shift. Ask yourself, what are you worth? And what are you worth based on evidence and research that you have done? And then who's going to pay you that? Who's going to pay you what it is that you truly believe you are worth? The sky is the limit. There's a part of this that I did talk about on the premium part of this month's episode over there, as we talked about 4 F's to evaluate your career. But what I want to offer you here, though, is that if you're being paid a certain amount of money and you believe you are worth X number of dollars more, who's going to pay you that? That doesn't mean no one is going to pay you that amount of money. It's just a matter of who are they, where are they, and how do you meet them to see if they will pay you that? Maybe the shift you have right now is, why is now the right time for me to ask for a raise? Your brain will always tell you it's not. Your brain will always initially tell you it is not time to ask for a raise. And that just holds you back because you're afraid about being disappointed or you're fearful about being disappointed. But I want to offer to be careful about how you position your request and ground that request in evidence. Don't say, I want more money. Show them why you're valuable and why it's worth it to them to pay you more. I would also be careful in saying, if you don't pay me more, I'm going to leave. I have seen that backfire on people. My guidance, if you will, here is that if you're going to leverage another position and another salary, make sure you have job offer in hand before you say anything like that. That will cause a whole bunch of mind drama. And I have seen this happen with somebody I know where they went into their boss. They wanted more money. They said, I got a job offer for X number of dollars more. You need to pay me more. And they said, all the best to you. Good luck. And that person was out of a job. Be careful where the mind drama takes you. There's a lot of mind drama around right now about what your working arrangement is. We're seeing some companies right now expect people back in the office 20, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100% of the time, depending on where you work. And that can be pretty frustrating and upsetting when you've been working efficiently and effectively 100% remote for almost the last 2 years, if not more. Right? You might be telling yourself, I like working remotely, and now I'm worried they're going to call me back into the office, and I don't want to have to get on public transportation, or I don't want to sit in traffic. I like my arrangement. I want it to stay that way. Well, the shift here then is very simply, what do you want to do about it? You have to decide, is it a deal breaker? If it's a deal breaker and you're like, look, I want 100% remote, find a job that's 100% remote. I have coached people. I have clients I've worked with that have been very specific about what they want their working arrangement to be. And of course, I'm not invested either way. The only way I'm invested is ensuring they do whatever they believe is best for them. But I will tell you, I sit sometimes in awe of my clients and proud of them for the clarity and specificity they have on exactly what it is they want for their work. It's one of the biggest components about building your mid-career GPS is doing all the prep work to be crystal clear about what you want in your career, what's non-negotiable and what's not. When you think about your leadership, right? When you think about leveraging or leveling up your own leadership, right? This may be part of your professional development plan or your goals for the year. So your mind drama might be things like, I want to lead more, but they're not giving me a chance. I deserve a leadership role. I should be leading people. Really? Why? Like you should be leading people? Tell me why. I want to be clear. Leadership is service. You do not deserve a leadership role if you are not coming from a mindset in place that you are there to serve your team, your clients, and your organization because of your skills and expertise in the role that you have. Put another way, you and I both know we have worked with people, like seriously, let's get real on this one for a second. We have worked with people who should never manage people. Point blank, period. They should not. They don't like people. They're nasty to people. They don't handle conflict well. They don't handle crises well. They should never be in a leadership role that is directly involved with managing people. If you are one of those people, find a different way to lead. Lead a project. Lead something else. But if you sit there and you are saying to yourself, I deserve to be in a leadership role, my question to you is why? Be very specific about where your leadership is of an added value or asset to your organization. But if that leadership role hasn't come for you yet, that you believe are suited for, and you want that kind of leadership responsibility, or you have been in a role at, say, manager or director, and you want the senior title in front of it, the first thing I want to offer you in managing your mind drama is to be empathetic to yourself. Do not beat yourself up over decisions you've made or you believe maybe mistakes you've made that you believe are holding you back. Be empathetic to yourself and be kind to yourself, that you can then shift the mind drama into, let me talk about examples I have done that I have led effectively or have demonstrated my leadership. When it comes to leadership, it is very easy to look at those who lead us and be super critical. You might say things to yourself like, I don't like my boss. My boss doesn't have my back. You may find yourself complaining a lot about your boss. And my question to you on that is, okay, why do you believe that to be true? Why do you believe your boss isn't advocating for you? Or why do you believe you don't like your boss? Right? Not everyone gets a great boss. Okay. But there is a choice that you make in dealing with a relationship with your boss when you don't think that relationship is ideal. You can either choose to have a conversation with them or not, right? You can do something about it or not. That's a choice, right? Not doing anything is a choice. But if you decide, look, I'm just not going to approach my boss, I don't want to deal with the stress and the drama of it right now, that's a choice. I can share with you that I have worked across many organizations. This is a common theme across every place where I have worked. Somebody didn't like someone they reported to. We're human beings. It's only natural. We're not going to like everybody. I have had people who directly reported to me who didn't like me. Shocker. Yep. I doubt they're listening too, by the way, right? But like, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is because we're human beings. You have to decide if you want to wallow in thinking like, okay, this relationship isn't great with my boss. I can't wait till they leave, or I can't wait till I leave. You have to decide what it is you want to do with that, right? But I want to ask you this in terms of a shift when it comes to your boss. What is the one thing that is holding you back from having a better relationship with your boss? And I also want to offer you, it's not that they're an idiot or a jerk. What's the one thing that's holding you back from having a better relationship with your boss? And then decide if that one thing is really worth pursuing to change the dynamic of that relationship. As we start wrapping up here, it is understandable, especially at mid-career, that you may have some mind drama around lagging behind everybody else. You might be thinking to yourself, I don't have the title I want. I'm not making the money I want. I would have thought I would have been further along in my career than what I am. I'm not good enough. I'm just going to be stuck in this role for the rest of my career. I'm never going to catch up. Do you see how listening to those things for the last 20 seconds is really just about beating yourself up? It's about comparison, comparing yourself to other people. As a school teacher, right? I knew that the salary I was making was not comparable to people I went to school with and people my age who were working corporate, who were making 2, 3, 5 times what I was making. But I loved being a teacher. So when you love what you do, you find ways to be resourceful. The year that I made 65K, like 63, 65K, somewhere in that ballpark, I had a consulting relationship. I was running a tutoring business. I was seeing private clients one-on-one. I doubled my salary that year. I taught summer school. I doubled my salary that year. Yes, I worked a lot, but I will always look back at that point in time in my career of where was I leveling up my skills? Where was I learning more? What else was I doing? I was learning how to have a business that I never thought at that time would lead me to this. But that's because of the totality of our experiences. Are there other coaches out there that make more money than me? Yes. Are there other coaches out there that aren't making as much money as me? Yes. Unless we're, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, whoever's the richest person in the world right now. I don't really know. Maybe it's one of them or whatever. Unless it's that, somebody's always going to make more than you. Someone's always going to make less than you. When you feel as if you are lagging behind everybody else, I want to offer you this. The work, job, career game is unfair. And that playing field is not equal. There are plenty of ways, and sad and illegal, that people are discriminated against or there are inequities. If you are more toward the end of the mid-career definition, you might be experiencing ageism. If you are to the younger side of the mid-career range, you might be experiencing ageism. I personally have been discriminated against and I have lost jobs because of it. Not everybody is paid the same. I will be the first one to say, I think teachers and nurses should be paid more. Not everyone has the same work situation, but what is important to you? And how do you measure your success? How are you taking care of your loved ones? How are you honoring your obligations? How do you show up to work each day and continually add value to the mission and vision of that organization that's employing you? Think about how you measure your success. And I want to offer that barometer to be different when it comes to comparing yourself against other people. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it certainly is worth trying. I'll offer you that. Remember, you're doing great things. You're doing great things in your career. And that's one of the ways to quell the mind drama here. Celebrate them with somebody. Write them down. Keep a notepad file on your phone. If you happen to enjoy using social media, share, hey, here's something great that happened to me this week. What's one thing that happened to you that you're really proud of? Make it a LinkedIn post. Put it on Facebook or Instagram. Do a TikTok or a tweet or whatever. I'm not on Twitter or TikTok, so it's just kind of foreign to me, right? But your mid-career GPS is not linear. That's what makes it exciting. The mind drama is part of it. It's just a matter of how well you deal with the mind drama as you go through it. So as you progress to finding the job you love or loving the job you have, I want you to remember it is your path to take. You always get to decide whatever is best for you. If you want some more help with this in building your mid-career GPS, please go check out my website at johnneral.com. You can find me on LinkedIn at John Neral. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at John Neral Coaching. I've got a free guide on my website. It is called 5 Mistakes Mid-Career Professionals Make and Need to Stop Doing. Thank you for those of you who have downloaded the guide and have shared some comments and praise for it. I really appreciate it. Also, if you are interested in getting some help in building your mid-career GPS, now is a great time for coaching. So if you are interested in learning more about how I can help you build your mid-career GPS or how I can help you level up your leadership and executive presence, you can email me at john@johnneral.com or direct message me on LinkedIn. Happy to talk with you further about how I can help you as your coach. But until next time, my friends, remember this. You'll build your mid-career GPS 1 mile or 1 step at a time, and how you show up matters. Make it a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Mid-Career GPS podcast. Make sure to follow on your favorite listening platform. And if you have a moment, I'd love to hear your comments on Apple Podcasts. Visit johnneral.com for more information about how I can help you build your mid-career GPS, or how I can help you and your organization with your next workshop or public speaking event. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me on social at John Neral Coaching. I look forward to being back with you next week. Until then, take care, and remember, how we show up matters.